The Pioneers take their first time out of set number one. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you here in the arena, we want to let you know that we are live streaming right now on YouTube. We're trying to get the NFHS Network production to go live as well. And for those of you who are listening to us online, good evening and welcome to Mustang Arena. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs. I am joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief. We are here to take you through tonight's broadcast, first of the JV and then of the varsity set. And Neil, it is good to be back after 6 months and 2 days since our last live event.
Yeah, welcome to Mustang Gymnasium. And as you said during the introductions, Mark, first time in 6 months, not just for here at Mustang Arena, as Chastity Small will take the serve. She is the right side player. Got some very good volleying going back and forth there, hits the net, and that will make the score 6-3.
Side out.
And Oak Ridge split the first 4 points. Wekiva then scored 4 in a row to take the 6-2 lead. Now it's 6-3.
Side out service returns to the Pioneers. Checking into the game for Oak Ridge, number 18, Azra Daywood, and she will have the next service.
And Jazari Colon, actually, excuse me, that is Azra Daywood taking the serve there. Nice job. Getting the ball in play. Of course, the volley was hit out of bounds. A pair of teams that are looking to rebuild, I guess you could say. Neither team, this of course is junior varsity.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva. Well, first we'll have a substitution. No strike that, it's just a lineup check.
So both teams come into this season with a lot of questions. I know, of course, that's the norm for all the teams with only 2 weeks of practice.
Chastity Rosario serves next for Wekiva.
Nonetheless, as Small serves again. Dumped over the middle there by number 8.
Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, Jasmine Rodriguez.
Jay Jacotin with that kill there. And out of bounds, Oak Ridge points. So we're tied again at 7-7. Oak Ridge scoring 3 in a row here, with Jasmine Rodriguez doing the serving. So here comes the serve now from Rodriguez, her 4th in a row. It's a 7-6 ball game, actually, excuse me. And some conversation and some quick news here. And again, we do apologize if we seem a little out of sorts here. Obviously, this is the first play in 6 months, so we have that to deal with. But also, we got some news about 24 hours ago. Wekiva, the previous coach, actually resigned, and Heather Lawrence has taken over the program. She will be coaching both the JV and the varsity this entire season. Varsity will start approximately 15 minutes after the JV game, as Rodriguez with another solid serve there. And Wekiva having trouble with their passing game.
Yeah, the Pioneers have now battled back to a 7-7 tie after being down by 4 to start the set.
Rodriguez with the serve again, underhand, this time into the net.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 7, Molly Durfus.
And Molly Durfus, the outside hitter, comes in. And she's going to serve it into the net there. So a couple of unforced errors in the last two serves here, both hitting the net.
Service back to the Pioneers. Natasha Barrios next in the rotation for Oak Ridge.
Jazureri Kolan will now serve it. She's going to go overhand here. Eunice with the return. Both teams going in the middle of the four here. High opportunity set up here. Unfortunately, Rodriguez cannot get the ball in play. Wekiva point.
Serves back to the Mustangs. Next up for Wekiva, Jamie Royas.
So Wekiva takes a 9-8 lead and will have serve. Jamie Royas, the setter, will serve, and she will serve it out of bounds, tying the game at 9-9 again.
Service returns to the Pioneers. Checking into the game for Oak Ridge, number 1, Judith Romero.
And now serving for Oak Ridge, Aisha Kendrick. She just came in too. Oh, a nice serve there, low to the ground, hard for
Ace on the books.
Jamie Royas. Had a hard time getting that ball out of the ground there. Second serve here for Kendrick. Well, one good turn deserves another there. It's another low return.
Mustangs kill by Shania Small. Service to the Mustangs, serving as libero for Wekiva, number 17, Michaela Modeste.
Rodriguez on the left sideline, unable to dig that low return out. And now the libero.
Attack error there by Jay Jacatine. Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, Diamond Serrano.
So Oak Ridge is coached by Daisy Gonzalez. She is in her third year as we get the serve here again. Diamond Serrano hitting it out of bounds.
Ace for Diamond Serrano.
Excuse me, that was an ace.
Checking into the game for the Pioneers, number 9, Bakara Lewis.
So Serrano will serve again. Here we got waiting for the whistle. There we go with the serve. 12-10. Oak Ridge in the lead. The serve handled cleanly by the libero. Out of bounds. Wekiva ball, and they will get the serve back. A much needed point there.
Service back to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, Shania Small.
Shania Small with the serve here. And by the way, Shania Small has a sister on the team, Chastity.
Ace for Small.
12-12 game here as Chastity Small, the right side player, will now serve again. Good return. Set up here. Over the net. Out of bounds. Wekiva point in. They will take a 13-12 lead here midway through this first set.
No, Neil. In fact, the Mustangs were called into the net. That was number 8, Jacatine, in the net. And so, in fact, it will be Oak Ridge that takes that 13-12 lead. As the Mustangs are called into the net, service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, number 14, Jazureri Cologne.
So again, this is the first game that has taken action in about 6 months here as Cologne will serve again, overhand serve into the net. And
service back to the Mustangs, 13 all.
We are tied
Checking
at
into the game for Oak Ridge, number 44, Natasha Barrios.
We are tied at 13 all. And now entering the game for Oak Ridge is Natasha Barrios.
Let's go, Mustangs!
Now serving for Wekiva, Chastity Rosario.
Go, Jack!
Rosario with an ace. Careful watching there by Rosario, as that was just barely outside the line, and the Mustangs wisely decide not to try to return that one.
Right here!
Nice setup. And it is just a little bit too hot on the attack from Dorfus. Service returns to the Pioneers. Checking into the game to serve, number 18, Azra Daywood.
And Azra Daywood will now serve. Handled there by Shania Small.
Short attack there, and it worked out for her. I don't think that's what she meant to do, but it still counts just for the same. Kill by Jade Jacatine. Service returns to the Mustangs.
Jay, you need a transition, baby. That's why you back here. You need a transition.
Modeste.
So that's one of those types of moves that if you could do it on purpose, you would, with that hard windup and then an off-speed attack. But it works out. This serve is short by Molly Dorfus, and service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, Jasmine Rodriguez. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 26, Diamond Whitehorn.
We are 15-15 in the first set. Oak Ridge and Wekiva, JV, as the serve from Shania, from Jasmine Rodriguez.
Service back to the Mustangs.
All right, let's go, Jay.
So that
Next up for Wekiva, Jade Jacatine.
So Wekiva takes the lead for the 6th time today.
Mustangs will get a free ball here. And another free ball coming their way.
It's going to be out of bounds. Oak Ridge ball.
Back row attack is called on the Mustangs. Side out to Oak Ridge. Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 2, Eliana Small. Next to serve for Oak Ridge, Natasha Barrios.
And Jazari Colon will serve again here. 16-16 midway through the first set. And we're going to have a serve violation.
Mustangs are called out of rotation. Automatic point to the Pioneers.
And that's actually going to be on the Mustangs. What was the call?
Out of rotation.
Mustangs called for out of rotation. Oak Ridge goes back in the lead as we get to serve again from Kalan. Good setup there. And that point is not going to count. Coach Lorenz was talking to the referees.
Yeah, that's very common to do a lineup check after a rotation call so that it doesn't, the mistake doesn't get repeated. And yeah, that play was whistled dead immediately after it was served.
And again, we had a bit of a rough start ourselves. Not only did the players after 6 months, as we get the serve here from
Short
Natasha
service there will
Barrios.
bring us side out to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 11, Jamie Royas.
Now serving number 11, Jamie Royas. She is the setter. And our referees tonight are Bucky Green and George Rivera. They are members of the Florida Professional Organization. So we got to pause here while there's some talking going on. And again, going back to where we started, the big news came out about 24 hours ago. We had a coaching resignation, and Heather Lorenz, who was the assistant coach, has now taken over as the head coach. She will be coaching both the JV and the varsity for the rest of the season. She was an assistant last season, so doesn't come in totally inexperienced, at least in terms of the Wekiva system and the players. Both teams here are looking to build. Neither team really winning a lot last season, but Lorenz does have some great hopes for this team, says it has great potential.
Judith Romero checks into the game for the Pioneers. Now serving Jamie Royas.
And Royas serves again, overhand. Oh, an ace.
Ace for Royas.
The ball took a dive there right in front of Jasmarie Rodriguez. Beautiful serve there by Royas. Of course, setters tend to be much better servers than the rest as we get the second serve here. Again, set up, and that's going to be the 3 rule.
Yeah, it looked like Wekiva might get a free ball there. They turned out to get even better as the Pioneers were not able to rein it in 3 hits.
Yeah, rule in volleyball is you have to hit the ball on the 3rd touch. Royas sets the ball back in play. Ace! Call that an ace for Royas.
Jamie Royas picks up the Mustang ace. And we'll pause as the Pioneers take their second timeout of set number 1.
And Coach Daisy Gonzalez immediately jumped up and called a timeout there. Wekiva now scoring 4 consecutive points. They were down 17-16. The score is now 20-16 in favor of Wekiva. This is the first of 3 sets played, junior varsity, Oak Ridge in Wekiva. And it feels really good to be back here at Mustang Arena, even if this is a junior varsity game, and of course there is no playoff implications. So a number of rules, obviously with the pandemic in place. We will talk more about them as we progress. One of the biggest rules is there's a limited audience here, just like you would see at college or the professional levels. Also, concession stands are not open. And as I was saying, both these teams are looking to build this year. Of course, junior varsity is the feeder system for the varsity teams. And Wekiva has only 3 juniors on the team, that being Chastity Rosario, Diamond Whitehorn, and Aliana Small. So a very talented team, but very raw, in the words of Coach Lorenz, who is now discussing the last point there with the referee. So I'm Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi. A 20-17 score here. Wekiva scoring 4 in a row as we have stoppage in the action.
Okay, but we always have a few jitters to work out in the first game, particularly in JV, as everybody gets back into the rhythm of this.
Yes, and
volleyball is one of those sports that, you know, when you think about sports that move quickly, the first one you usually think of is basketball. But in reality, volleyball is one of those that the rhythm of it can get ahead of you really fast when it comes to like double switches with libero swaps and substitutions, as we get another ace for Jamie Royas as the Mustangs extend their lead to 4. Volleyball is one of those games that has a real rhythm to it, and if it takes some practice to really get to feeling it, as we get another ace for Jamie Royas.
And Royas with 2 aces in a row there, both of them hit at the left angle.
Yeah, she has 4 aces so far on the evening.
And then knocked out of bounds. So 22-17 now. Rosario with the overhand, and this time she goes to dumping it between the second and third row there. Excuse me, first and second row.
Yeah, once again, Royas catches the Pioneers asleep at the wheel. She's now up to 5 aces on this set.
Royas with another serve, and the streak comes to an end as she hits the net.
Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, Eunice Pierre.
And so now Oak Ridge will get the serve and the point. Obviously, they needed that point. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a set match.
Bakar Lewis into the game for Oak Ridge.
Pierre Eunice will be doing the serving. And there's the overhand serve. Third hit here for Wekiva. Handled nicely by Jasmine Rodriguez and out of bounds.
Shania Small with the Mustangs kill. Her third tonight. Set point, Wekiva. So, of course, in high school, for the last, more than a decade, it's been rally scoring to 25. So this will be set point.
Jasmine Rodriguez with the serve.
Pioneer kill by Bakar Lewis. Service returns to the Pioneers. Next to serve, Diamond Serrano.
And so Oak Ridge will now go back trying to avoid losing. Diamond Serrano with the serve, overhand.
Nice serve there. The Mustangs didn't get a clean return on that, and they'll settle for a free ball coming back in both directions. Opportunity for a solo kill, and the Pioneers handle it. Free ball coming back the other way. Mustangs can't get it together either. Again, free ball settled for on both sides. Here's an organized play, and too light on the touch. Timing was a little off there by Molly Durfus, and the point will go to the Pioneers.
And Diamond Serrano will serve here again. A 24-20 score, set one. There's the overhand. Handled by number 10, and
Mustangs, Molly Durfus on the kill, and that takes the set for Wekiva. 25-20 is the final score of set number one, and the Mustangs take a 1-0 lead for the match over the Pioneers.
So we now have an injury. As we are now between sets 1 and 2. This is Wekiva versus Oak Ridge, junior varsity's first game here in about 6 months. A little hard to see who is on the floor right now. But a 5-0 run by Wekiva, starting with the score at 17-16 in favor of Oak Ridge, sparks them to that set one victory. For those of you who do not follow junior varsity in the past and are new to the sport, it is best out of 3, so Wekiva on the verge of taking this victory. And now we can see the number, that is number 6, Pierre Eunice. She was one of the players involved in that final set. And you can hear the fans.
Eunice Pierre shaken up on the play. She makes her way off with the assistance of our training team and coaching staff.
You got the starting lineup there. You got the starting lineup for the set. Oh, okay. Hey, Mark. Wekiva winning the first set by 25-20 score. And taking the floor for Wekiva is the setter, number 11, Jamie Royas. Number 8, Jay Jakatin, the middle blocker. Number 7, Maui Durfus, the outside hitter. Number 10, Shania Small, outside hitter. Number 2, Aliana Small, middle blocker. So your referees tonight from the Florida Professional Organization, Bucky Green, George Rivera, as they give the signal to go ahead and get set 2 started. Oak Ridge, of course, trailing 1-0, will be serving first. And in case you missed the news, if you tuned in late, we had a coaching change just 24 hours ago on a Sunday afternoon. Heather Lorenz took over from the previous coach, who resigned. Of course, Heather Lorenz was the assistant last year and this season, so not new to the Wekiva way, but she is new as the head coach. Wekiva uses a 5-1, and actually Wekiva's going to be serving, and it will be Royas doing the serving.
Before we begin the second set, checking into the game for Oak Ridge, number 18, Ezra Daywood. And as we enter the second set, leading the rotation for Wekiva
So Royas
is number 11, Jamie Royas.
So Royas, the setter, waiting for the signal. There it is. And here we go with set 2. Nice serve there by Royas, putting the ball in play. Third hit by Wekiva. Oh, out of bounds there. Number 17, Modesti, unable to control that ball.
Service to the Pioneers for the first time of the second set, leading their rotation, Asia Kendrick.
Oak Ridge with the serve here, 1-0 lead. Asia Kendrick, underhanded serve. And we're not going to get a return this time.
Kendrick on the ace. So Oak Ridge, with the start of the second set, opening up with 2 unanswered points. They'll have an opportunity to earn a third here on this service.
Kendrick serving again, that underhand serve being efficient. 3 hits here for Wekiva, and a nice answer by Wekiva.
Solo kill by number 10, Shania Small.
Jasmine Rodriguez with the 2-handed kill there, laying that ball right between the first and second rows. And that will bring Rodriguez, like in baseball. Oh, God. No, I'm reading. So, excuse me, that was Shania Small, number 10, with the serve. We are tied at 2-2.
Small now serving for the Mustangs. And Shania Small picks up the ace. So after 2 unanswered points to start the set, now the Mustangs earn 3 unanswered to take the lead.
Certainly seem to be regaining the momentum as we get a ball out of bounds there.
And we'll go ahead and put that as an ace in the books anyway. Not a traditional sense, but since it wasn't returned successfully.
And Small again with the overhand serve, make that 6 points in a row.
Shania Smith picks up her 4th ace of the night.
5 points in a row, 5-2. Small goes back, the outside hitter. This time she's going to slam the ball into the net.
Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, number 12, Diamond Serrano.
So Diamond Serrano will now serve for Oak Ridge, trailing 5-3. 5 consecutive points there by Wekiva as Serrano picks up the ace.
Diamond Serrano with an unreturned ace for serving 5.
Serrano back to the serve here, standing about 3 feet behind the service line. Overhanded serve. And Small having trouble keeping that ball in bounds.
Serrano with back-to-back aces. That ties it up at 5 each. Something else we'll point out to you just as a programming note, due to our social distancing guidelines in light of the enhanced safety measures that are in place, Neil and I are sitting much farther apart from each other than we normally are. And so we have on order a pair of headsets that will allow us to actually hear each other. But tonight, they just haven't come in yet, and so we're using our traditional microphones, and we're sitting much farther apart than normal. So if you hear Neil and I talking over each other more than we normally would, it's not because we're being rude, it's just because we can't hear as well as we would like. But that should be remedied by next week when we get that equipment in.
In the meantime, the action continues, 6-5 Oak Ridge. That's another point there taken by Oak Ridge, 7-5 now. As Serrano continues to deliver some very impressive serves here. You're going to see another one all the way back at the back line. And quite frankly, Modesti probably should have let that one go by. It would have been probably a Wekiva point.
Serrano with her 5th ace of the night. And that is now 6 unanswered points for the Pioneers. They were trailing 5-2. Now they lead 8-5.
Certainly, as we get the third hit by Wekiva, a game of runs, and the ball dropped right in front of Asia Kendrick there.
Aliana Small with the Mustang kill. Service returns to the Mustangs.
So Small's efforts break the Oak Ridge run, which went to 6 straight points. It does bring the score to 8-6. And now we're going to see Chastity Rosario, the right side player, take the serve. In the meantime, we're going to get a stoppage here as Coach Lorenz is discussing some lineup change. The lineup with the referees. Again, our referees are Bucky Green and George Rivera from the Florida Professional Organization. Just like to take this moment, too, to thank you for joining us. I'm Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi.
Yeah, this is our first broadcast of the 2020 Wekiva sports season. This is the beginning of season number 14.
Yeah, and again, I think this is a very special season, obviously, because the pandemic has changed so many logistical and organizational norms. But just the fact, as Modesti puts the ball in play here, the fact that we do have any sports, it was just 6 weeks ago, it was an unknown. So sit back, relax, and we are going to bring you all of Wekiva's home games this season. Good volley here.
Mustangs will have to settle for a free ball as they're not able to get it at control in 3 hits. Here's a good attack, and it converts. Molly Durfus on the Mustang kill.
An unforced error there. And again, even though this is JV, this is a young JV team. This is a very experienced JV team, as Modesti puts the ball back into play. And we're going to get an ace here. Ball hit out of bounds by Asia Kendrick.
So that ties it back up at 8. Serving as libero, number 17, Michaela Modesti.
And another unforced error.
That one goes into the net. Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, number 14, January Colon. But first, checking in, Natasha Barrios.
And Oak Ridge takes only the second lead of the set. They are trailing 1-0 in sets. It's best of 3 in JV. And here comes the serve again from number 14, Colon. And she's going to serve up an ace there. So Oak Ridge, 3 straight points here. This certainly, Mark, has been a game of swings, even probably more so than the usual when it comes to volleyball. Ten to 8, Oak Ridge in front, and Colon. Difficulties on that serve there, out of bounds and didn't reach the net.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Chastity Rosario next in the rotation for Wekiva.
And Chastity Rosario will take the serve here. Nice high arching lope. Oh, and a bit of luck there as Karina Davis hit the net and rolled over into no man's land.
Diamond Serrano picks up the side out for the Pioneers. Next in the rotation, Jazz Marie Rodriguez.
Service by Jazz Marie Rodriguez.
Easy dig there for Small.
Third hit here into the net.
The attack error by Durfus will return the ball to the Pioneers. They now take a 3-point lead.
And Jazz Marie Rodriguez will serve again. Underhanded serve. One of those just working on the fundamental deals. And nobody called it for Wekiva. That wasn't just an unforced error as far as the wrong technique or bad decision, just bad communication there.
The Mustangs request their first timeout of set number 2.
And so as soon as that communication broke down, Coach Lorenz immediately called a timeout. She probably also called the timeout because Oak Ridge has now scored 4 of the last 5 points as well. So while we have this timeout here, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. As we mentioned, of course, due to the pandemic, a smaller schedule in terms of the number of games. Nonetheless, quite a few here. We will have 5 games at home. Tonight the season kicks off against Oak Ridge. It'll be a while before they come back in terms of the games. Actually only 10 days till the next game. That'll be Southlake on the 24th. But 5 away games in between. And then the season wraps up with Ocoee, Apopka, and Lake Howell at home. And then West Orange on the road before the district tournament on October 12th. So back to action here. Here's the serve from Jazz Marie Rodriguez, and she's going to get an ace on that underhanded serve. One of the more effective servers for Oak Ridge.
Rodriguez with the ace.
13-10 in favor of Oak Ridge. Here's the serve again. Some diving there, and unfortunately the ball kept going backwards, and Small unable to get any momentum on the hit. And Oak Ridge takes the point. A 14-10 lead now by Oak Ridge as Rodriguez serves again. Third hit, back to Oak Ridge.
And the Pioneers settle for a free ball there. Here's a nice set. Oh, but the timing is not there, and Jacatine has to settle for a lob. Mustangs with an opportunity here. Good looking attack by Jacatine, but an even better dig by Cologne.
Slammed into the net by Wekiva.
Yeah, Durfus a little bit low there, timing off. And that's something that improves with experience. It's easy. It's a lot harder than it looks to time those attacks.
Rodriguez with the serve. And we're going to get another ball hit into the net, and the lead now expands to 16-10. Oak Ridge on a big-time run here. 9 out of the last 10 points. The game was actually scored tied at 8-8. Rodriguez puts the ball back into play. Good job up there by 44, Natasha Barrios.
Solo kill by Jade Jacatine. Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation, Molly Durfus.
Who scored that? An even better job by Jake Jacatine, and now we're going to get the serve here from Molly Durfus.
Service is off speed there. Side out to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation, number 18, Ezra Daywood.
Serve ball put into play. Daywood, underhand, gets it to that second line and an out of bounds there. Wekiva certainly having some issues with location here in the second set.
Yeah, nothing small about that attack. That one went into the next zip code. And the Pioneers take a 7-point lead.
Daywood again with the serve, underhand, fundamentally sound. Set up by Arroyos.
Nice looking attack. The dig is there by Davis. It sends it right back to the Mustangs, and miscommunication there causes Royas to crash into Jacatine, and that'll go down as a ball handling error and give it a free point to the Pioneers.
Daywood getting ready for the service. Again, another good serve right into the middle of the field. And a perfectly placed return into
Royas
the
on
corner.
the assist. Shania Small with the Mustang kill. Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, Jade Jacatine.
A passing shot there for Shania Small, one of the two Small sisters, and ball put back into play here by Jade Jacoton. And we had a stop. That ball did not count as there was another ball on the court.
The reserve game ball somehow, I don't know where that came from, but somehow got away from whoever was handling it.
And we're going to see a net here. Unfortunately, an opportunity gone by the wayside for the Wekiva Mustangs.
Checking into the game for the Pioneers, number 6, Eunice Pierre.
So, and we'd also like to take this opportunity and thank Keith Dickerson's students. We have, I believe, 3 of them working here tonight, handling the video side of the broadcast. As Natasha Barrios will now serve, she goes overhand. And that's not going to be long enough. An easy Wekiva picks up an unforced point there.
Side out to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, Shania Small.
And so Shania Small, of course, her sister Aliana, number 2, outside hitter, overhand serve. And this is going to be an ace. As Jazz Marie Rodriguez had some trouble fielding that, much like an outfielder in baseball, unable to.
That ace will not count as the Mustangs are called out of rotation. Side out to the Pioneers. Eunice Pierre serving next for Oak Ridge.
Well, unfortunately for Wekiva, it would have been a nice serve. So 21-13 now.
Yeah, that's one of those that really stings. You hate to see that because it was a beautiful play that just didn't count for anything. And Small there, that one got away from her a little bit.
Yeah, and Wekiva had an opportunity to gain some momentum there. They had scored 2 of the last 3 points. But now the score is 22-13. Really, it's going to take a big-time rally here for Wekiva to come back and tie this as Eunice serves again. Net ball up to the net there. Double hit by Jacotin. Just a hard angle to handle there. That 90-degree angle coming straight down and getting out of the way. Even if she had been able to get out of the way, there was no other Wekiva Mustang who was close enough to handle it. Eunice serves again. Into the middle.
Aliana Small with the Mustang kill.
Off the arms of Daywood there. Having some trouble with placing where that ball was going to land and hit it at the wrong angle.
Small will have the next service here. Now, Neil, the Mustangs have 15 kills. And the Pioneers have just 3. So that kind of tells you that the scoring in this game is all happening by the Mustangs. They are either scoring for themselves or they're scoring for the Pioneers.
Yeah, speaking of which, we get an ace here from Small. That'll bring the score to 23-16.
Returning to the game for the Pioneers, Judith Romero.
And the sub coming in, as you just heard, was Romero. Small back to the serve, overhand, and this is going to be down the left sideline, handled by Small. In the meantime, unable to return is the Mustangs, and now we are 1 point away from a 1-1 set.
Checking into the game for the Pioneers, number 9, Akara Lewis. Set point, Oak Ridge.
Set point, Oak Ridge looking to tie this set up. Tie this match at 24-16. Ball put into play by Serrano. Over to the left side, into the middle of the Oak Ridge field. Set up there by the middle. Rosart and Royas tries to set it up. Does an excellent job. And Romero unable to bring the ball back into play there.
Small on the kill. Service back to Wekiva. Serving as libero for the Mustangs, number 17, Michaela Modeste.
So Modeste will serve here, facing a 24-17 deficit.
And then we'll play musical chairs with the rotation. Again, Wekiva leading the kills game 16-4. So with Oak Ridge only having 4 kills but having 24 points, that tells you that the other 20 came from Wekiva errors.
And the ball put into play by Modeste. She takes the return. Roya setting over to the left side, back into the middle. Roya setting again. And this is going to go out of bounds, and that's going to be it. For set number 2, we are tied at 1-1. Oak Ridge taking a 25-17 victory to tie the score at 1-1.
That takes us to the end of set number 2. Pioneers with a 25-17 win in the second set, and that means that we will need a tiebreaker set to resolve this JV contest. And just a quick refresher, since it's been a while since we've played volleyball. The tiebreaker set plays by the same rules as the first 2 sets. However, we are playing to 15 points instead of 25. And as always, you must win by 2 in order to take the set. Whoever takes this set will be the winner of the JV match. We will clear the service arrow, and we will have another coin toss to determine first service in the third set.
Hey, Mark, is there any way you can put the stats so I can, it's really, I didn't even know you had it. Oh, you know what? Set 3 about to begin here. Jamie Royas will begin the serving for Wekiva.
The Mustangs have won the toss and will open up the third set. Leading the rotation, Jamie Royas.
In the third set, the team that gets to 15 points first wins, not 25 like a 1 and 2. There's the whistle. Royas takes a couple more bounces of the ball, and here is the serve to start set 3. Point scored, Wekiva.
Royas opens the third set with an ace, her 6th tonight.
Well, Royas with a bullet of a serve there, got about 2 inches over the net, and then just took a line drive drop right into the chest of Barrios. So Royas will serve again here, looking to make the score 2-0 in favor of Wekiva. Handled again by Barrios. Over to the right.
Good judgment there that it was in, and it pays off. Kill by Shania Small.
And Small with the point there. A driving, diving line drive right at the feet of Barrios. So Wekiva is picking on Barrios here in the early going.
And you could see the confidence there as Small knew that was placed perfectly and knew that was all hers.
Royas puts the serve back into play. And this time Oak Ridge is going to have a couple of passes and another great passing shot.
Jasuri Colon with the backwards kill. Service to the Pioneers, and Barrios is into the game for Romero. Next to serve will be Diamond Serrano.
Diamond Serrano, number 12, will be taking the serve here, overhanded serve.
You saw Colon on that last service, not only picking up the kill, but getting some style points as well as the Mustangs fumble this one and are not able to return it.
Yeah, really nice effort there by Royce to save it off the net, but there just was no one else in close enough to really handle that. And Serrano serves once again.
That one was hot, almost to the end line. Modeste taking the conservative move there.
And
But the service point will go to the Pioneers, though.
And so Oak Ridge takes the first lead of the third set at 3-2. With Serrano putting the ball in play. Third hit here. Royals sends it over the net into the middle. And point, Wekiva. Rodriguez unable to get it over the net.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, Shania Small.
And so Shania Small, the outside hitter now, will try to give Wekiva the lead.
She's doing very well for Wekiva tonight with, well, it was 6, now 7. 7 aces for Small, along with her 7 kills.
Barrios once again involved in the play. She hit it out of bounds. The serve again from Small. This time it's going to be an unforced error into the net.
Yeah, that was almost brilliant if it had been about 2 inches higher.
And,
service back to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation for Oak Ridge, number 16, Asia Kendrick.
And we are tied at 4-4, set 3. The serve from Eunice. Back line handled by Small. Over the net, and again, another dropping ball.
Kill by Aliana Small. Her 4th tonight. Service returns to the Mustangs.
So the other Small, we've been talking a lot in this game about Shania Small, but her sister Aliana there coming up with a big play gives Wekiva a 5-4 lead, and now Modeste will take the serve. She's the libero. Some good passing here by Wekiva. Unfortunately, into the net. Number 8, Jaden Jacotin with the unforced error, and we are tied at 5-5.
Checking into the game for the Pioneers, number 18, Ezra Daywood.
So Daywood will take the serve. Underhanded, gets it into the middle, over the net. And a double hit, this time Barrios.
Service back to the Mustangs. Next on the rotation for Wekiva, Chastity Rosario.
And as Rosario gets ready to serve, Wekiva goes back up 6-5. There's your serve. Nice return. Set up by Royos again. Another beautiful play.
Jade Jacotin with an off-speed kill, her 3rd of the night.
Say Durfus. Who? Hey. Ball put back into play here. Nice dig there by Royos. Unfortunately, not enough, and what was a 7-5 lead is now 7-6.
Yeah, Royos never had a sporting chance there. Natasha Barrios next in the rotation for Oak Ridge.
So the name Barrios comes up again. Overhanded serve into the middle, handled there by Small. Royos with the set. And into the net. Unfortunately for Wekiva, Durfus did not take the correct angle, and that ball went straight into the net.
Yeah, Durfus really didn't have a great opportunity there as the pass to her was ill-placed and low.
Barrios serves again. Great effort by Small, but not enough there. Trying
Natasha
to hit
Barrios picks up the ace.
Small trying to hit that ball over the net from the ground. Nobody was in the area to really get it if she had hit it up. And Barrios was to serve again. A couple of Wekiva players hitting the deck there together. We go back over the net. Royals with the serve, the assist, the pass. Royals again. Royals again for a third time.
Good look there, and it's going to land inbounds.
Yeah, that's the volleyball equivalent of a Texas leaguer in baseball. Just had just enough to get to that back row and hit right in front of the line, but not enough to go over. So Barrios now will serve again. A 9-7 lead by Oak Ridge. They were down 7-5.
And a miscommunication there between Molly Durfus and Michaela Modeste will award a free ace to Natasha Barrios.
Barrios throws it up. There's the overhand hit. Modeste, nice return, set up. Royals with the
Much
pass.
better look this time, and that's going to be Jade Jacatine on the Mustang skill. Her fourth tonight.
Jade Jacatine with the right amount of touch there, slamming it right into Cologne's chest.
The Pioneers request their first timeout of set number 3.
So we are tied, it is 10-8 in favor of Oak Ridge. This is the third set. Oak Ridge is taking on Wekiva. This is junior varsity action. We are live from Mustang Arena, bringing you the home opener of 5 games that will be broadcasted by me, Neil Fisher, along with Mark Barchi, during this unusual 2020 season. Our referees from the Florida Professional Organization, Bucky Green and George Rivera. And we'd also like to give a thank you to the radio TV students of Wekiva under the direction of Keith Dickerson. They've done a fine job of handling the video side of this broadcast. Stay tuned. We'll have the varsity action about 15 minutes after the end of JV. And just a quick note here as we get ready again, Heather Lorenz took over about 24 hours ago upon the resignation of the previous coach. Royas sets in, gets ready to serve. A 10-8 deficit being faced by Wekiva here in the third set of this junior varsity match. And an unforced error there.
That service is a little off target, wide right, and service returns to the Pioneers, 11 serving 8 for number 14, Cassowary Cologne.
Cologne will go back to the serve. And that unforced error now extends Oak Ridge's lead to 11-8. Oak Ridge actually lost the first match, came back and won the second set, and now Cologne is waiting to get the signal. There it is. There is the signal. And we still got another whistle now. Well, Wekiva just earned themselves a point.
Yeah, it was not clear to me what the administrative problem was.
Nonetheless, it's an 11-9 score now, and Jade Jacatine, the middle blocker, will be serving as we get a substitution.
The Mustangs nearly ran out of their 5 seconds there. Ace for number 8, Jade Jacatine. That's her second tonight.
Been a lot of aces in this match, Mark. Wekiva with 9 as Jacatine overhand serve again, and well, Oak Ridge is going to get some luck there.
Yeah, another one where the Mustangs just watched it go by, maybe misjudged the angle, thought it was going to go out. And
yeah, Jacatine definitely misjudged that angle. She leaned forward and then stopped in mid-action there.
Checking into the game for Oak Ridge, number 9, Makara Lewis.
Jasmarie Rodriguez takes the serve. Both teams use a 5-1 formation. And if you're new to volleyball, that means they have...
Okay, I see exactly what happened this time. That was a Service fault called on the Pioneers. Service to the Mustangs. Next to serve, Jamie Royas.
Royas will get ready to serve.
That may have been what the issue that happened on the last serve as well. I did not see the signal on the previous Oak Ridge serve, but that one was definitely a service fault. Her foot was over the line.
Ball hit overhand in, out of bounds. Too much mustard by Royas. And
Diamond Serrano serves next for the Pioneers.
So the score is now 13-11. Serrano takes the serve and slams the ball into the net. Another unforced error.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Shania Small will serve next for Wekiva. Small is the best server that Wekiva has, at least by the numbers tonight. She has 7 aces. A few more here would be most welcome.
Yeah, much needed serve here. Well, Wekiva with an opportunity.
Attack error there by Small. Service returns to the Pioneers. Next in the rotation is Eunice Pierre. Match point, Oak Ridge.
So Oak Ridge will serve now. Eunice taking the serve. 14-12 lead. Eunice unable to get to that ball.
Jamie Royas dumps it over to get the side out for the Mustangs.
Action down there on the left sideline.
I'm not sure whether she did that on purpose or not, but it worked.
Now, a lot of movement there as Oak Ridge got out of sync. And so Modesti now will serve. 14-13 Oak Ridge in the third game. Excuse me, the third set.
Serve is wide right, and that takes us to the end of the third set and the end of the match. 15-13 is the final score of set number 3. And the Pioneers will take the set 2-1.
And so Oak Ridge with the rally, they lose the first set, but come back, rally to take set 2 and 3 by scores of 25-17 and 15-13. Number of unforced errors in service aces were really the story of that match. Oak Ridge scoring 16 aces, Wekiva scoring 9, and I don't know what the percentage was, but I'm sure both teams scored at least half their points on unforced errors. In the meantime, stick around. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for varsity action between Wekiva and Oak Ridge, the opener for both teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to make sure you're aware that the JV and the varsity streams are separate. So if you are currently watching the JV stream online, or you have friends and family who are, please make sure they know that we are going to end that live stream, and we will be back with you in about 15 or 20 minutes, ready to start the varsity set and open up the 2020 season. We'll see you then.